All right, welcome to the Third and Wrong YouTube channel. This is Dylan, your host today. Normally, I am joined with Gage and Mikey, but today they're busy, so it's just going to be me rocking a mock review, mock draft talk, all that good stuff here. And this is The Athletic. And so I haven't seen too many mock reviews on The Athletic. If you haven't, they're a pretty good collection of beat writers with specific teams in focus, and they do a really good job of covering the teams that they're assigned to. I feel like they have reasonable takes, and they're really well educated in their teams and everything like that. So I trust the Athletic quite a bit. I'm actually subscribed myself, so this isn't necessarily an ad, but if you want somewhere else to go and follow, they're definitely one of the top outlets for that. A lot better than ESPN, in my opinion. So go check them out. But with this video, we're going to be doing a mock talk on the Athletic mock draft. And I'll give you my thoughts, opinions, and everything like that. And before we get into this video, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us out a bunch. You might hear me say this a lot, but we're a smaller channel right now, and we're putting in a lot of effort to grow. And if you like that kind of stuff, if you like this kind of content, help us out. It helps you out because you get more content. So win-win right there. But let's get into this video. All right, like I said at the top of the video, this is the Athletics mock draft. It was just released maybe a few hours ago, so it's pretty fresh. And a lot of things are going to happen in this mock draft. I took a quick little sneak peek, and it's going to be pretty interesting. So I have already done a mock draft myself. If you are interested, there's a brief 29-minute video, not so brief, that you can go and watch. I think it's a very good mock draft, obviously, because I did it. But as we all know, mock drafts change, and there's a lot of different opinions, a lot of different takes on how you can do a mock draft. And so this is just another new one, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on this one, and let me know what your thoughts are. We'll kind of talk in the comments, and I do like to reply, so we can definitely talk about these picks for sure. But let's start off with the first overall pick here. Like it says here, the beat writers of all these teams came together to do this mock draft, so it's more of a collective unit rather than just one person. So I actually kind of like that. All right, so for the first one here, we got the Indianapolis Colts trading up for Bryce Young. So it has the Bears dropping down to number 4, and compensation is whatever. I don't really care about compensation in mock drafts, but the Colts get Bryce Young here. I recently put out a quarterback video of who I want for the Colts. I had Bryce Young at 4, hoping that we would get him at 4. I have 3 other quarterbacks ahead of him, in my opinion, but Bryce Young is not a bad quarterback. I'm not trashing him, just not who I would prefer in the situation as a Colts fan. All right, the next one here after this ad, we've got the Houston Texans taking my quarterback, C.J. Stroud. I really like C.J. Stroud. Lucky for the Texans, they don't have to trade up to get him. Really good move. Next, we got the Arizona Cardinals going Will Anderson, edge out of Alabama. I definitely think this is a possibility. I think Jalen Carter is someone that a lot of people have going first overall outside of quarterbacks, like the first player that's not a quarterback gone. But Will Anderson's very productive, and they are losing a lot of defensive line talent, and the edge position is a little bit more premium than the defensive tackle position, so I get the value. Number 4, the Falcons. That's crazy. So the Bears trade down yet again. They go another 4 picks down, so they start with the number 1 pick. They drop down to the number 8 pick via the Colts, via the Falcons. And the Falcons get Jalen Carter. So they trade up, get him, Kind of helps out their defensive line tremendously because Jalen Carter is such a disruptor. And that's interesting. I haven't seen the Falcons being mocked to trade up to number 4, but where they are at number 8, it's kind of hard to kind of just sit there and be complacent with whatever you get because this is just not a prime position in this draft. But number 5, the Las Vegas Raiders trade up for Anthony Richardson. I think this one is spicy. The Seahawks trading down, I think it's good value whenever you can do that, obviously. But I think it's very interesting that the Raiders would be sold this much on Anthony Richardson, and not going with someone that is a little bit more ready, like a Will Levis. But this is mock season. Everything's going to be mocked. This isn't necessarily bad. I just, in my mind, I don't see this working better than going for a Will Levis for the Raiders. All right, there we go. The Carolina Panthers trade up to number 6. So a lot of trades already. I don't think all these trades are going to happen, obviously, but it is a lot of trades for where we are right now. Panthers go up, get Will Levis, get their guy. I think he fits great with Frank Reich. I don't think that's a bad pick. Getting them at number 6 is good value too, even if you do have to trade up. All right, Seattle Seahawks trade down to 7. They get Tyree Wilson, who's probably one of the more higher end edge prospects of this draft. Will Anderson is definitely more productive right now, but such a hard name to say. Tyree Wilson is a very good edge right now, and he has a higher ceiling. So that's going to be a very interesting player to watch in this draft process to see, does he go higher than Will Anderson because of his potential, or has Will Anderson done enough to solidify him going as the number 1 edge in this draft? I do feel like some people might get some prospect fatigue, or however you say that word, and might start dropping Will Anderson because of those reasons and because of the measurements and testing that Tyree Wilson will have. But where they have Will Anderson 1, Tyree Wilson 2, I think that's fine. And Seattle Seahawks get a great value in the trade down and getting a premium player. Number 8, the Bears stop their trading and get Peter Skoronski. I think Skoronski is great if you're looking for versatility and not needing a for sure dominant left tackle right out the gate. And I think Skoronski is great. I think he's definitely worth the top 10 pick. It just kind of shows a little bit more on the, filling out the offensive line rather than getting your franchise left tackle, in my opinion. Number 9, great picture of Skoronski there. Number 9, the Detroit Lions trade down, still get a premium cornerback. I think if you put any of the 2, Devon Witherspoon or Christian Gonzalez, I think this is great for them. I think that a lot of people are going to be mocking a cornerback here. I think it's a lot smarter to do that, get your premium guy first, and then not like see what you get later, but like prioritizing this position will be better. Kind of see what what the draft gives you later on, and work within that space. So Devon Witherspoon, hard hitter, great instincts. I think Christian Gonzalez is still my cornerback 1. All right, Eagles, I'm shocked that they don't trade down if we're doing all these trades. And I would be shocked if they go Myles Murphy. He is someone that I don't think gives you a whole lot of high end. And his floor is obviously a first round floor. But I see the Eagles going in a different direction. I think, like it says here, it's hard to pass on a Joey Porter or Christian Gonzalez. But they're seeing edge as the more premium position. I understand that, but I don't think Myles Murphy is necessarily an edge. I think he's more of a defensive end and kind of fits in that way. Whereas a Tyree Wilson or Will Anderson can go wide 9, any of the edge true positions and win. I think Myles Murphy definitely wins closer to the center than to the tackles. And I think that the Eagles, I'm I would assume they go cornerback or a number of different players here. I just don't necessarily love Myles Murphy top 10. Number 11, Paris Johnson. Without fail, this always happens in these. Obviously, they just released Taylor Lewan, their former franchise left tackle. And I think Paris Johnson is a franchise left tackle that you can slot in there and kind of that's your next 8 to 10 years hopefully is Paris Johnson. And I think he's a great prospect. He showed very good tape this year, and he definitely has room to grow too, which I think he will definitely get those tools to learn in Tennessee. All right, the Houston Texans. This is probably like an 80-20% Quentin Johnson or Jordan Addison at this moment, but a lot of people are assuming wide receivers really the biggest thing that they're going to go here. I would say it's a good position to target at this draft position at number 12. They can definitely go with fitting in more players. There's high-end talent in a lot of different positions as well. But when you get someone like a Quentin Johnson who's big, he can run with the ball, and he can actually separate too. Definitely a unique wide receiver in this draft. I don't know if he's my wide receiver 1, but where you want to kind of pair him up with CJ Stroud, I think that's awesome. And I don't know, I think that's a good pairing. Sorry there. Number 13. The Green Bay Packers go a little unconventional and get Brian Branch. I think Brian Branch is a phenomenal player in an undervalued tweener position role, if that makes sense. Not that he's not going to line up as a true safety all the time, and he's not going to line up as a cornerback all the time. He is a weapon that he understands defenses. He understands where to be. He can deliver, and he does a lot of things very good. I think that works well with the Packers. You could argue a lot of different. I didn't notice here that the Packers traded up for him. There's a lot of different things they can do, but the Packers don't really take offensive skill positions in the first round outside of quarterback. So I understand that there. And there's a few other people here. I think someone like an Ojulari might even sneak up here in the middle of the first round and, kind of be that upside edge prospect. So Brian Branch is definitely great. I think deserves being here or higher. I just don't know if that's necessarily what the Packers are going to be trading up for, but to each their own. I think this isn't bad. All right, Patriots. They have the 14th pick, I guess. Joey Porter Jr., cornerback out of Penn State. I think this fits a little bit more of the older style for the Patriots cornerbacks. I think they're switching more to zone, and that's where I think Cam Smith would be phenomenal there. Obviously, Christian Gonzalez and a lot of other cornerbacks I think do great. I don't know if Joey Porter is necessarily that, alpha cornerback 1 shutdown style that the Patriots have had. And I don't think he's necessarily that zone that they're switching to, in my opinion. So this one seems a little missing on what I would expect. Obviously, I think these people probably know more than me, to be honest. But just from what I'm seeing, this one, I would say probably isn't going to be Joey Porter. Next one, the Packers get 2. Oh, because they trade to Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. Okay, I didn't pick up on that. The Green Bay Packers get another player, Lucas Van Ness. This is that edge prospect that I'm talking about that I think that they would prefer going higher with. But, getting in Brian Branch is great. Definitely steal him from the Patriots. So that's a player that the Patriots would love. But getting Lucas Van Ness here is good. He's not purely a great prospect as far as like your edge bender, that kind of deal. But he definitely is going to help this pass rush a lot, especially with being more rotational to begin with. He still has a lot to learn, and I think he has a lot to improve on. But what you're getting right now is definitely worth a first-round pick, in my opinion, too. So this isn't a bad pick. I have seen Van Ness go higher and lower, so this is kind of a good middle ground for Van Ness. The great picture there. Kind of spoiled the 17th pick, but the Commanders get Broderick Jones, offensive tackle out of Georgia. Youth movement is great. Getting a tackle that can kind of solidify that left side is awesome. Getting him at 16 is even better. I think this is a very good pick. And I think Broderick Jones can definitely rise from this position later on in the draft. Steelers get Christian Gonzalez. Definitely deserving of the name Steelers because they stole Gonzalez here. I think he goes top 10 in my opinion. I think it's hard to see him falling out of the top 10 in my eyes. Very good ball skills, very good awareness, and great instincts. I think he's made for the NFL, and I think he'll just boom right away. And seeing him drop to 17 is a steal for the Steelers. Number 18, I do not like this pick. I just it's not wasting because Bijan Robinson obviously is the best running back. He's very skilled. He will make an impact right away. And I get that aspect of it. It's just that position is not at a premium anymore. You have DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. I'm sure you have 20 other running backs that you can filter through and get good production. The Lions are also not a running team. They're not primarily a running team anyways. Like they definitely are more in the passing game, and that seems to be something that they excel at. They're a very good passing team. I just don't see them taking a running back this early. I could see a tight end, if anything, on the offensive skill position. But if I'm the Lions, everything I'm doing in this draft is going for defensive talent, unless there is some sort of, just unfair value. Bijan to me is not that unfair value where I'm getting something way more than what my position in the draft is getting me. So I just don't like this pick, and that's coming from someone that enjoys watching Jonathan Taylor, and I've seen how a great great running back can impact an offense. But at 18, it's just too much of a price and too little of a difference maker in the grand scheme of the running back the running backs that they have now, plus the system that they run. So I don't know about this one. Let's see. Tampa Bay Buccaneers take Drew Sanders. Definitely good pick. They got some older defensive players. I think Drew Sanders is phenomenal. This is definitely higher than I typically see him, but this is someone that can make a lot of plays. I think it kind of slots in well with what the Buccaneers have been doing with two linebackers, and it fits very well. I'm not sure if they're planning on this being a quarterback, a veteran quarterback coming in and not having to take one. But here, Tanner McKee is definitely someone to keep in mind for the Buccaneers. I think he can definitely do a lot more than Davis Mills, who was at Stanford, and he has a lot more projectable skills than Davis Mills. And so I think Buccaneers might swing on him just because Kyle Trask is not who you want. And I'm assuming that they don't get a veteran quarterback unless they get real lucky. Jacksonville Jaguars swing on Michael Mayer out of Notre Dame. I think this is a great pick for them. I think they just re-signed Evan Engram, so this kind of gives them the twin tight ends of Jacksonville. Giving more weapons to Trevor Lawrence is just going to be the best thing right now for the Jaguars. You can't have enough weapons for him. He can spread the ball around and create a lot of mismatches. And with that offense that they run with Doug Peterson, getting as many weapons right now is priority number one. And adding Michael Mayer doesn't take away from Evan Engram's production. It gives you another tight end who does a lot of things very well. Engram is kind of more of a hybrid tight end where he plays just all over the field, so they can live on the same field together. And I think this is a good move. I guess this is a trade too, so the Jaguars trade up to 20 from 25 to get him. All right, Dolphins forfeited their pick. The Chargers get Jordan Addison. This is my wide receiver one. I think he's shown more production over 2 years than any of the other wide receivers, and he's good on all levels of the field. I think he's the most complete wide receiver, and I think he's someone that fits very well with Justin Herbert. So this is tremendous value, great fit, and I would say this is a home run pick for the Chargers. I wouldn't be surprised if they trade up to get him if he starts falling past 15. All right, number 23, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Ohio State. Obviously, a very talented wide receiver. They're kind of on the tail end of the wide receiver train here. This is also another team that I could see trading up for Jordan Addison if he starts falling, or a Quentin Johnson if he starts falling. But if you stay here and get Jackson Smith-Njigba, that's great value as well. This is a premium player at a premium position right now, and you need more wide receivers for Lamar Jackson. This takes the load off of Rashad Bateman and Mark Andrews and gives you just another weapon for Lamar Jackson to spread the ball around and kind of move away from running everything as a run play essentially. All right, number 24, Minnesota Vikings get Brian Bresee. This is someone that had a lot of prospect notoriety early on, even beyond just last year and the year before that. He's a very impactful defensive tackle and healthy, and when he, has full green light, and that's what the Vikings are hoping for here. If they get him here, this is tremendous. I can see them going anywhere across the board with their picks. You can tell me any position that the Vikings draft, and I would believe you, to be honest. So I think this is a great pick, though. This is a top-end player when he's healthy, and you're kind of getting a discount because of some of the flags that you're going to get on medicals and things like that. So I think this is a good pick when you're picking later in the first round. Number 25, O'Cyrus Torrence. This is the Seahawks trading down once again. I think Torrance is a fine guard, and this is kind of the spot to take him. I think he still has some things to work on, but that's like any rookie. There's not a whole lot. Okay, the Seattle Seahawks trade down and they get O'Cyrus Torrence. I think O'Cyrus Torrence is a phenomenal guard. For a rookie, I think there's still some things that he can learn to do a little bit better and things that he can improve on. But with your position here, this is a good pick. I don't think this is a reach at all. And I think O'Cyrus Torrence can definitely help out their offensive line and continue to grow. New York Giants getting Jalen Hyatt. This is a high-end burner as far as wide receivers go. Not necessarily the most complete wide receiver like a Jordan Addison, but with Jalen Hyatt, you get a premium burner that can take the top off the defense, and he can also work under those routes as well. He can find the zones, he can hit the seams, does a lot of things very well, and I think this pairs well with them needing wide receiver talent. And I think the way that who is it that I'm thinking of? Brian Dable and Mike Kafka and them, I think they can work in a lot of packages for Jalen Hyatt and get a lot of production out of him. All right, number 27, Kelee Ringo to the Cowboys. This is one that I don't see often, and I'll give credit to the Athletic here. I think this is a very, very good pick for the Cowboys. Obviously, you got one of the Diggs brothers over there, but this gives you someone else to kind of work with. You can put him in the slot for right now. You can put him outside. You can do a lot of things with Kelee Ringo. He's very much a NFL level athlete. He still has things to learn and grow in. I don't think he's perfected right now, but that also means that he can continue to get better. So, and I think he will. I think he'll be fine in the NFL, especially because of his athleticism. All right, the Buffalo Bills select Zay Flowers. I don't know about. I mean, I like Zay Flowers a lot. I just don't know if the Bills. They're in the first round. They're very late in the first round, and they're always going to be very late in the first round. And I can understand kind of getting a premium player at a premium position for, less than what you're paying a Stephon Diggs and things like that. You're just crowded in your wide receiver room right now, and I don't think you necessarily need to add a wide receiver 3 in the first round. I think he could potentially be a number 2. I just don't see him being a number 1. And we already have a 1, pretty much a number 2 with Gabe Davis and a few other young wide receivers on their way up. To me, this feels like just not the pick. I think getting offensive tackle would be great. I think getting edge would be phenomenal. Ojulari, like I said, I think would be a great pick here. But let's go with Zay Flowers, I guess, Bills. The next one here, we got the Bengals going with Deonte Banks. This guy has gotten a lot of buzz lately for a good reason. He definitely has very good skills when it comes to getting interceptions and with his instincts in general. I see him being right here, maybe at the top end of the second round. Really, anywhere in the day 2 is more comfortable for Deonte Banks projections. But if the Bengals really value that position and want to upgrade, I think Deonte Banks could definitely do a good job here. And number 30, the New Orleans Saints take B.J. Ojulari. This is who I think that the Bills, maybe of the few other teams that are kind of reaching on offensive positions they don't necessarily need, taking someone like Ojulari, I think is better because he has that high-end edge potential, and you can get him a lot cheaper than you can get an edge guy in free agency and things like that. So this would be a great pick for the New Orleans Saints. But I think he goes a lot higher because I think a lot of teams are going to start to value him more and more throughout this draft process. Then the last one here is Emmanuel Forbes out of Mississippi State. I like this one for the Eagles, mainly because the Eagles are going to be needing young cornerbacks here soon. I think everyone knows that. They are with Darius Slay right now. They also have James Bradbury that's going to hit the market. CJ about to hit the market. So getting a young cornerback that can make an impact, I think Emmanuel Forbes fits that. So I think this is a fine pick. And then Darnell Wright going to Kansas City Chiefs. I think this is fantastic value. I think he's definitely going to replace Andrew Wiley here in this situation and give them, more youth to protect your franchise. Obviously, Patrick Mahomes. If you're doing this with the first round pick throughout Mahomes' career, that's going to set you up for a great success. Just keep on drafting offensive line in the first round. The Chiefs will do good things. So overall, I guess they did a little bit of a beyond the first round. Some fits that they like. We'll go through them pretty quick. Luke Musgrave, tight end, going to the Rams. I can see that one working out pretty good for him. That's not a bad pick. Felix Anudike-Uzomah out of Kansas State. Sweet. Some players to kind of look into. Cam Smith, I see him potentially going in the first round. I like his zone reading abilities. I like his instincts there. I think he starts floating up higher and higher on boards. Okay, this is just some players. I think Adebawore goes higher than the third round. But anyways, this is the Athletic mock review. If you've stayed to the end here, definitely appreciate it. It's something that shows that you like our content. So if you do, drop a like, definitely subscribe and hit the notification bell. It gives you more of our content. So that's a win-win for both of us. And have a good one. Be back on the next video.